Jason. A Washington County judge has ruled against an effort to remove a local Veterans Service Commissioner from his post. Our Chase Campbell has the details.
Washington County Common Pleas Court Judge John Halliday issued his decision in the case of Proctor versus Smith, denying a complaint filed by Washington County Veterans Service Commissioner Larry Proctor seeking the removal of fellow Commissioner Jared Smith. The case was centered on allegations that Smith was aggressive, used profane language, and created a hostile work environment for staff and fellow commissioners. Veterans Service Commission Executive Director Darren Sherlock testified that Smith's behavior was threatening and contributed to low morale and staff turnover. Several other commissioners also testified about his conduct. Smith denied being intimidating or bullying, and witnesses called on his behalf said that they had not observed any inappropriate behavior at recent commission meetings. Halliday found that while Smith's conduct was troubling, it did not rise to the legal standard required for removal, which includes gross neglect of duty, misfeasance, malfeasance, or nonfeasance in office. But the judge was blunt in his broader assessment of the commission, writing that it has become a place where some members have replaced, quote, duty, honor, country with ego, rancor, and contempt, unquote. The judge wrote that, quote, when commissioners spend time bickering, they are effectively wasting the time and resources that belong to the veteran community, unquote, adding that, quote, the behavior testified about reveals a staggering lack of self-awareness, unquote. The judge said that the suit has no winner, writing that, quote, the loss here falls on the Washington County veteran community, unquote. Costs in the case are to be split equally between the parties. Both parties have the option to appeal the ruling. In Marietta, Chase Campbell, WTAP News.